A lot of news to share today, and we'll start with an announcement that came down just a little bit earlier today on the fact that the district is suspending all extracurricular performances and competitions effective until Sunday, January 3rd. And that goes into effect this coming Monday. So
Right.
any games that were scheduled tonight and those sorts of things, that's good to go, even things tomorrow, but effective Monday, that would be the case. I know it's disappointing for a lot of our families who have student athletes or their children involved in these things, but at where we are at this juncture, just inform our families why that decision was made.
And Bart, you said it so well. Not only disappointing to parents and even our student teams, but for all of us, because this is something that it's been a tradition. When we look at as far as moving into the holiday season, you're talking about tournament play, you're talking about opportunities to even play outside your district. So there's a lot of fun and just anticipation as far as that matchup. But this is something that everyone knows that we monitor every single day, and the numbers have become extraordinary in the last 2 weeks. And where we have really watched what was occurring with our adult population, and what we see in the school district, which I've shared, we've watched it correlate very quickly and drive the numbers as far as what we're seeing as Wilson County as a whole, which we're in the top of the state right now when you look at active cases. Well, our students started paralleling that. We could see the correlation, and in fact, looking at our numbers since November the 6th, as we looked at those specific numbers, and then every week from there, we've started doubling. And so if that is something that we're seeing now within the district, what are we going to do it's beyond even mitigating, but contain.
Right.
And so the opportunity to look at not only the 2 weeks that we're going to be out for the break, but to encourage and urge people to please stay home. We've more or less said that we can track after either an event or a major holiday. The results 2 weeks out are mind-boggling. And here we are going into a major break. So anything that we can do, and we all know, Christmas holidays, that's a time that not only parents invite extended members, there's going to be gatherings, and so we're already in anticipation of what's it going to look like when we come back that first week of January.
Right.
So right now, and again, we understand why now. This is one time that we can maybe get together and celebrate our students and look at the competitions, look at the tournament play.
I think the message here is too, if we do this now, and this is what I've gotten, I've talked to health services department and those sorts of things. If we take this step now, it gives us a chance that when we get into January and February, much better chances for when district play begins to do those. Those are very meaningful games for all our teams. So
yes.
To have us in a position that we can more likely safely do that. Whether you have holiday tournaments and things, you have a lot of people coming from outside areas and in a small space, so to speak. So there's a lot of dynamics that go into it.
January and February will be very important when we start getting into that district play, if we are healthy and well.
Correct.
And the other thing, and I didn't mention this, that we even, as far as looking at drastic measures of looking at reducing numbers. We dropped down to 25% capacity coming into the gyms, and one of the local high schools, when they issued the electronic tickets, the capacity number is 490. But by the time employees and others started coming in with their families, we were exceeding 1,000.
Right. So it's very difficult to regulate, and it's asking an awful lot from staff at schools to police that, so to speak. It's very, very difficult to do that. So in the best interest of the district, let's go ahead and just take a suspension for 2 weeks. And maybe get a chance to relax. Now, I want to add to the fact that any practices or conditioning not included in this. Teams will still have the opportunity to do that, and that's
with
included
all
in
safety
those
measures and protocols in place. Because again, we cannot, take the risk as far as the exposure, but we also understand the need to continue practice play and conditioning. I mean, and that can be done in a safe way, and our coaches know that.
Let's move on to another big piece. It is the second installment of our 20-day report. That is included in this post
Yes.
and this email. It's going to be sent out as well. There's no way. There's no two ways about it. The report does not glare anything that is very positive, so to speak. Maybe we can take away some things, a few things here and there to build off of. But where we are after this latest 20-day report, I'll let you kind of give the nuts and bolts of what stands out the most to you.
Well, the first report, Bart, if you'll remember, was the first 20-day report was November the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And then counting that, the days off, the next one issued was December the 11th.
These are 20 school days.
20 school days. And just as a reminder, we look at every day as far as that becomes a data point, as far as where we are with quarantines, looking at active cases, looking at whether it's staff, adults, and then also looking at students. And just, I feel the need to read this, but on November 6th, our number stood at 255 and 79 for students and employees, respectively. It is important to note that the November 6th report covered 11 weeks of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
Each of these numbers have been more than doubled in the last 4 weeks, showing a dramatic acceleration of positive cases within our district. Didn't say county, within our district. And then we put a table in there just showing, again, student positives, staff positives, looking at student quarantines and staff quarantines. And again, looking at the numbers where we were seeing the rapid elevation as far as adult, meaning staff, and a lot of student quarantine numbers, a great many. And we were, I don't want to say that we were proud, but as far as looking at the number of quarantine students that would actually equate to positive cases, it changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because then what we were seeing that, again, adult numbers, but now our student numbers start the uptick as well. That not only were we seeing the high number of quarantines, but we were also seeing an acceleration of those equating to active COVID. And so looking at that and also looking at the trend within the county, it's more than alarming, more than alarming. And we're starting to put faces with some of these cases that we have to pay attention. We've lost a parent, and we have staff members that are very ill, and we have some children that are very ill. We have to pay attention to the numbers and take this time to regroup, stay well, not get complacent that, this is going to go away because we have a vaccine.
Right.
I've already had people tell me, said, well, is this going to change spring semester because of the vaccine? If anything, we have to be more vigilant.
Right.
This is serious, Bart, and we have to take it that way. And I don't want to be gloom and doom as we go into the holiday season, but it would be remiss on my part to say that even at home, everyone still needs to continue with the precautions and be vigilant as far as where you go, who you associate with, and don't let your guard down.
Well, there's one thing this year has taught us, and I know that people, the vaccine. There's one thing this year has taught us is that don't pin your hopes on something to be in place at a certain time, and don't think that something will happen by a certain time, because we learned ever since this has started that things have not always worked out like we hoped they would. And by having that mentality and that preparation, if something does happen much sooner, we welcome that to know that that people are getting well much faster and things are turning around quickly. But at where we are at this place in time, I mean, we have to prepare as if for the unexpected, for whatever the new year holds for school districts or anything. And so I think that's where a lot of people's mentality is, because we've learned a lot of valuable lessons this year.
Absolutely. And when you go back to think that, this time last year, we were hearing about it.
Yeah.
But it was, overseas. We weren't discussing it as something that was in this country. By January and February, wow, we're concerned. There's some conversation about it. But when you look that within a year's time, the magnitude of this virus, that it really is still a mystery, because it's not the same impact as far as whether it's an adult, whether it's a child. But we're also hearing of symptoms that, what they were referring to before as classic COVID symptoms, not playing out. We're also hearing of situations where individuals that have had COVID once have had a reoccurrence.
It is. It's got a lot of mystery to it. We'll see where we go from here. Folks, you have this report. It's attached to this video. There's also going to be an email to all our parents that includes the report as well. And we will continue another, these incremental 20-day reports will continue as we go on through the upcoming spring semester. And then I guess we need to touch on this, because I know it's definitely in the back of parents' minds, students as well. January 5th. We're scheduled to resume at this given point today. I don't know that we can offer any guarantees, but our full intention is to return to the models that the students left with before everything went to entire remote. Wouldn't that be correct?
And that's what we've announced. But again, COVID pending. That's a new term now.
Yeah.
Everything's pending as far as where we will be. And I say that because even though we're on break, we will still be monitoring not only Wilson County metrics, but also looking at as far as information is provided to us. Even this week of remote, parents have kept us informed as far as either illness within the family, with it, as far as whether it's a student or a family member, because that helps us as far as to track and to back up. Same thing with our staff. So it will be one of those that we will certainly give notice. But what we plan today will be that we return January the 5th, as far as on the model that is in place, has been in place, unless there is another uptick or concern.
And we will communicate that.
Absolutely, with plenty of notice.
Plenty of notice. Little known fact, everyone, Dr. Wright works many hours. That's well known, but little known, she'll come up here on weekends and holidays and whatever the case. She has been all year. Hopefully you take Christmas Day off. Hopefully you can have some time to relax, but she does so much. She's been up here all hours of the night, helping to try to find her way and this district's way through this pandemic. So we say thank you for that and all that you've done. But I don't think a lot of people realize that you've pulled some very long days for a long time this year, and hopefully you do get to spend a little time away and enjoy the season.
It's part of the job, but it's not just me either. I cannot say enough, Bart, about not only immediate staff, but our administrators.
Yes.
Thanksgiving week, many of them were still doing their contact tracing. Our teachers going over and beyond, and I will say this has been the week that we're on remote learning, and parents have reached out as far as what they are seeing and witnessing with their children. And many times, and I've heard it so, whether it's the elementary or even with the high school kids, how much better the instruction is from when we started. Well, of course, we've improved.
Had some practice.
That's a lot of practice. But the thing is, I want to really say, a lot of people are having to dig really deep right now to do things that they never planned for, nor were they prepared for. And so we're all working together on this. And deep appreciation to parents, because it's been a terrible hardship on so many families. It's been such an adjustment, not only on lifestyle, but even when you look at livelihood, that we have to take that into account, and we understand, and just we have to take care of each other and get through this.